Today we're going to go through the function and safety checks on a Taurus G3c handgun. Anytime you disassemble and then reassemble a semi-automatic handgun, it's a good idea to go through some of the quick safety checks to make sure it's functioning properly. The Taurus G3c manual does not have a particular function and safety check protocol, so we're just going to go over some safety features and functions that I think are important that you check after disassembling and reassembling your firearm. So there's a couple of checks that you can do before you get it fully reassembled, so we'll go through those. First, as usual, always verify that your gun is unloaded. Always remove the magazine first, then make sure there's no round in the chamber. And double check that because we are going to press the trigger to field strip this one. So I'm just going to take the slide off this and show you a firing pin safety check that we can do. And on the Taurus G3c, hold the slide back slightly, take the takedown levers on both sides, hold those down at the same time, release the slide, release the levers, point the gun in a safe direction, press the trigger, and now the slide will come off of the top. Then you can remove the recoil, spring, guide rod, and barrel. So one of the safety features on this gun and a lot of guns is called the firing pin safety plunger. So what this does is this helps protect the gun from firing if you were to drop it. So if you drop the gun in a certain way, if this isn't here, the firing pin could fly forward and hit the round that's in the chamber and fire the weapon. See the firing pin poking through there. So this is here to prevent that. So the way to test this is you grab a hold of the firing pin lug in the back, press it back under spring pressure, and just make sure that moves freely. All right, and when you press it forward, it should not come through the firing pin hole right there. It should only be able to come forward if you press on this plunger at the same time. And then it will come forward. If you let go of that, it should not come forward. Alright, so that's a firing pin block. So that's an important safety feature. Once we have that verified that that's working okay, we can put the gun back together. Okay, now we're just going to do a basic quick visual inspection. Make sure nothing is cracked, corroded, broken, bulged, anything like that. Then we're going to test the magazine release. So take a magazine, put it in the gun. You should not be able to get that magazine out by pulling on it. It should drop free, however, when you press the magazine release. Now we want to check the trigger safety. So the trigger safety is this little lever right here in the middle of the trigger. So what this does is it makes it difficult for the trigger to go back unless someone has a correct grip on it. So if it gets caught in your clothing or that kind of thing and it just gets pushed back, unless this trigger safety is also pressed, the trigger will not go back. So what we want to do is grab a hold of the trigger on the sides and try to push it back. Make sure you do not hear the click where it fires the gun. And that's successful, and now press the trigger properly, always pointed in a safe direction. Press the trigger properly and it does fire. So on this gun you don't have to rack the slide to reset because it has second strike capability. So on this particular gun, and this one only, every time you press the trigger it should click. Okay, to test the trigger reset on this particular gun, just going to again point it in a safe direction, press the trigger all the way back. You hear it click, hold it back and then slowly release it. So you hear a solid click and then press it again. Okay, and that's just checking to make sure your trigger resets properly. Alright, the next thing we're going to check is the external safety. If your particular gun has this external safety lever, we're going to test that. So with this safety engaged, the trigger should not be able to fire. And with the safety down, the trigger works. Alright, so we're good to go there. So the last check that I like to do on all of my semi-automatic firearms, I want to verify that it's going to extract and eject properly. The easiest way to do that is to get some dummy rounds. I use A-Zoom dummy rounds. It's just fake ammunition. It's just aluminum in the shape of actual rounds that you can have, and these are 9mm for a 9mm gun. So what I normally do, I'll get about 5 of these, load them into one of the magazines, and please verify that these are all dummy rounds, although we're not going to be pulling the trigger here. But get 5 dummy rounds, put them into the gun, rack the slide to load a round. So now we have a dummy round loaded into the chamber and 4 more in the magazine. All I'm going to do is rack the slide 5 times, and each time is going to extract and eject one of the dummy rounds. So what you want to do is you want to rack the slide to the rear and then let go of it. You don't want to ride it forward because you might go too fast or too slow and then it's not going to work properly. So just grab a hold of the slide and rack it very briskly to the rear. All right, 1 came out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it locked open because we have an empty magazine. Everything's working perfectly. That's the last test that I do, and now you are ready to go to the range. If you found this video helpful, please hit like below, please subscribe, and please check out the description below if you need some dummy rounds. They're a great thing to have. They can really help you troubleshoot if you're having trouble with your gun as well. All right, thanks for watching.